What's the deal with Baker Mayfield? This is a guy who was the number one pick. I mean, to be the number one pick, you go through so many workouts where you just leave people's jaws on the floor. He used to have a freaking cannon. Now he's bouncing around the league. He has the lowest QBR this season of any quarterback since ever, other than Jamarcus Russell. And he just got straight up released. He might clear waivers. It seems like teammates hate him. He can't lead, and he's not the athlete he used to be. At least that's my perception. What is the deal with Baker Mayfield?
Well, I mean, I think he's good. I liked him in college. I liked him. Yeah, I thought he had a lot of moxie. I really thought that he was the right pick, when they took him. And in that draft, heck, I mean, he played better than Sam Darnold. Who were the other guys? Rosen. He outplayed that other guys.
Josh Allen.
Except for Josh Allen. Of course, Josh Allen was number one.
But what's crazy is Sam Darnold was outplaying him in Carolina this year. Baker. That's crazy to me. No one thinks anything of Darnold.
His body has gotten just absolutely beat up.
That's a big deal.
And sometimes after a while, you start to hear ghosts, and you're anticipating pressure because your body's so beat up, and maybe there's a little bit of that going on. I think he also did a ton of commercials probably before he should have. Yes. His commercials to playoff win ratio sucks. And I get the feeling that, he's maybe a little bit about himself, but I don't really know the guy, and I don't know anybody who knows him. He's not the biggest arm. He's not the biggest quarterback, but he's got a good arm. He's not old. You're talking about 27 years old. He was a winner in college. I mean, the guy won the Heisman. So it's. I mean, the Heisman's not a good example, but 98 touchdowns, 62 picks. His completion percentage is a little low. I will say this, though. I mean, any quarterback would want to play for Kyle Shanahan. Any quarterback would want the weapons that this offense has. So the interesting thing about this is, will Baker make a statement saying that he wants to play for a certain team and then maybe influence if what teams pick him up in waivers? But I got to think
he's washing out of the league.
24th in waiver priority. I can't imagine, league that has so few quarterbacks and all these injuries, unless there's some word on the street that he's a bad guy or has some kind of drug problem or some issue that's underlying and the underlying issue. Based on what I've seen, there's no way he clears waivers and gets to the Niners.
I don't know about that.
Really?
I don't know about that. I mean, why'd they release him? Why? Did he ask his release? Does he think he's coming to the Niners? Because look, here's the thing. Kyle was just asked on the conference call, "Hey, are you guys interested in Baker Mayfield?" And he was like, "I'd be surprised. I like what we have. I like Baker, but I'd be surprised." I don't know that teams are that interested. I mean, players don't like him. It's demonstrable. I don't think he has the arm he had a few years ago. I think there's something wrong with him physically. And he's not a leader. I mean, look what's happening to Zach Wilson in New York. I mean, he's like off the team. He's inactive. It looks like people don't like Zach Wilson. And once he started playing poorly and didn't take responsibility for it, they pretty much vetoed him. And it seems like Baker's getting that from his teams too. And what they have in common is they're these really cocky guys who don't have a ton of success in the league and grew up in mansions, really rich, that are not particularly relatable to the average guy in a locker room like Jimmy Garoppolo is, who grew up, middle class in Chicago. I think Rosen is the guys who grew up really rich that that did not connect with their teammates. They were really cocky and aloof. And once they started playing poorly, everyone's like, I don't want to play with that guy. They're absolute non-leaders. I think that's what we're seeing with Baker is all people like, he used to have a good skill set, but it's not really there anymore. And is he really like, if the Niners brought him in, Nick Bosa doesn't like him. It's Nick's team. How are you going to play? It wouldn't work.
All I'll say about Mayfield is I think you pegged him wrong as the rich kid from what I'm reading. I mean, supposedly they had to sell his family home in high school and he went from rental home to rental home. Okay, fair enough.
Sorry about that. I don't know. He just comes across as a rich, cocky frat dude. That's the way he comes across. I'm sorry, man.
He definitely,
that was Manziel. Manziel was super rich coming out of Texas. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think Baker, there's always a race when you jump into the NFL. Can you learn what to do and refine the nuances of playing quarterback before your body gets beaten down and you're physically diminished? And it happens. Some guys take a ton of hits. This guy took a beating. Was it last year? He's out there with a torn labrum, and he's just taking a beating in that division.
And he's not a leader.
I don't know if he's a leader, but I'll say this: he's done an awful lot of commercials for a guy who's not very accomplished. Now, does that reflect a sense of entitlement or some ego or something? Maybe. It's
hard to lead when your teammates don't like you. It's hard to lead when they don't like you.
They got Deshaun Watson, he wasn't like at all about the team. He was just like, I'm out of here. Where look at Jimmy's reaction to the drafting of Lance by comparison. So I wonder about the mental maturity of Baker Mayfield. And let's be honest, a major part of playing quarterback in the NFL is you have to be a leader of men. And if those guys don't follow, you don't got much.
Exactly. And I think what's too bad is he was trying to get that contract and he played injured, and I think he probably compromised himself, and now he's not quite what he used to be, and he's probably not liked.
But what are their options? Jacob Eason? I mean, the reality is that
they signed Josh Johnson
to get it done. I mean, I don't think they can get it done with Josh Johnson. I think Josh Johnson, he's 36 years old.
Well, Brock Purdy is going to win the Super Bowl, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I do think Brock Purdy's going to surprise everybody. I've already said that many, many times, so people know I'm synonymous with that. I'll stick with it, and I got confidence in him going forward. But Super Bowl, I don't know that Jimmy was going to win the Super Bowl.
Don't. That's our next topic. Don't tell people what you're going to say. We got to create suspense. Whoa.